Alrighty guys, we're back for some Big Red, and this is a Wilds of Eldraine standard brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do get that Discord link as well as that Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining either of those up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? A whole bunch of early ramp to go over, so first of all, Charming Scoundrel, 2 mana, 1/1 with haste. When it ETBs, you get to choose one. In this deck in particular, you're probably always going to choose that treasure token, but it does have some other good abilities here too, like discard a card, draw a card, nice, or just create a wicked roll token attached to target creature you control. It could technically come in handy, but like I said, treasure token is probably the go-to. Speaking of treasure tokens, we got all 4 Riveteers Requisitioners in here. So 2 mana, 3/1. When it dies, create a treasure token. Nice. Got that Blitz for 3 that could come in handy as well. Also have an Irencrag in here. So it's a 2 mana legendary artifact. You tap it to add a colorless. Beautiful. Now I'm not even going to look at that bottom ability because it's not going to come into play in this deck. So we have a couple Grabby Giants too. This is a 4 mana 4/3 with reach, and for 3 mana you can sacrifice an artifact or land, draw a card. I don't know how often that comes into play, but this is realistically in here because of that other ability, the adventure side here. It's called That's Mine. And for 2 mana, it's instant speed, create a treasure token. Beautiful, dude. I love it. And then, of course, after you create that treasure token with this, you can always play it as the Grabby Giant later on in the match as well, which really could come in handy, help you close up some games or something, right? So that's the early ramp. No, not all of it though. We do have a couple Celestus packed in too. You guys know I love Celestus, and it, like, even though it's legendary, I still like having 2 of them in here because worst comes to worst, you can always just discard that other Celestus in your hand to the first Celestus's ability. So yeah, I think it's totally going to be fine as a 2 of it. Probably going to be pretty important in some matches too. That life gain really does go a long way sometimes. So also just like filtering out cards, right? I could talk about the Celestus for a lot longer because of how much I love packing it into mid-range builds, but I won't. So that's our ways to bridge the gap between the early and the mid game. So we're trying to get to that mid game as early as possible, way before the opponents can actually get there. So what is in the mid game that we want to actually ramp up to? Well, we have a couple Jaya Fiery Negotiator, as well as a couple Koth too. And we have a couple top-end Chandra Hope's Beacons here as well. I'm not going to take the time to actually go over the individual Planeswalkers because that would take a while, and these have been around for a little while too. But we know how much value these different Planeswalkers can actually bring. One interesting note with the Koth and the Grabby Giant, of course, is Koth can help you find mountains. Then you can play those mountains and then sacrifice those to the Grabby Giant to draw a card. Again, I don't know how often that actually comes into play, but it is worth noting that at least Koth can supply you with an endless chain of lands in that case, right? Between the Jaya and the Koth and the Chandra, all of them also act as spot removal too, which is really cool. Chandra potentially picking up a couple creatures too with that -X. Speaking of spot removal, we have all 4 Play With Fires here. I think it's still going to be pretty important to ping the opponent's face because I'm seeing a lot of control decks as well, and then the Scry really comes in handy. And we have a single Torch the Tower here too. These 1 mana spot removals are pretty important when you're rocking something like Celestus. So you can successfully go turn 3 Celestus and keep open a piece of spot removal like Play With Fire. That can really go a long way. More spot removal with a single Abrade here. Sometimes picking up an artifact is going to be important, so we'll see how often that comes into play. Hey, maybe we'll pick up the opponent's Celestus, for example, right? Now we do have Brotherhood's End as well. Not the only board wipe in here, as we have Elder Dragon War as kind of sort of a board wipe too, but also a way to help us close up games with that 4/4 Flying Dragon. And we have all 4 Burn Down the House in here too. Same concept, dude. You can either it either helps you close up the game with those devils, or yeah, burn down the house. 5 damage to everything really comes in handy, especially once the opponent actually gets their Shieldred on the board, which is every other opponent, right? So yeah, there's a lot of Shieldred, isn't there? Now we do have to be careful with our board wipes as they do hit our Planeswalkers too. Everything except for the Elder Dragon War, which is just 2 damage to each creature and each opponent. So this actually doesn't hit our Planeswalkers, so that is definitely noteworthy, right? Outside of all the board wipes, we also need more ways to just win the game, and so I opted for a couple Urabrasks Forge in here as well. So if we are ending up wiping the board every other turn, at least the Forge continues to create horrors and potentially help us wrap up the game that way, right? Oh my, is that everything already? Yeah, not taking the time to go over those planeswalkers really saved us some time, huh? Now 25 total land, 24 of them are mountains, and we obviously have that Crucible of Defiance packed in here, and I wanted as many mountains as possible for that Koth ability too, the -3, right? Some honorable mentions, guys. I thought about Lightning Strike instead of Abrade, but I do think there's going to be plenty of moments where we do just want to hit an artifact with that Abrade. And the reason I'm thinking like Lightning Strike is because, yeah, we are seeing a lot of control. So again, hitting the opponent's face might be necessary. And then, of course, Lightning Strike pairs beautifully with like Chandra too, because you can play Chandra on 6, go +2, play the Lightning Strike, and then copy the Lightning Strike. So that could be really good too. Yeah, honorable mention for a reason, huh? Thought about Into the Fire as well, instead of like Brotherhood's End, but I think it's going to be pretty important to actually deal 3 damage instead of 2. If we went Into the Fire instead, then that's another board wipe that only does 2 to everything like the Elder Dragon War. So yeah, I just wanted to be able to do a little bit more damage. Also thought about Stentia Uprising for this one, but I think like overall, our Planeswalkers are just going to do a lot more, so. Okay, guys, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked and see how we do. Right into that first game, guys. Let's go. Okay, what am I expecting from the build? I'm expecting a little bit, honestly. And you know, we play around with big red every now and then, and based on what I'm seeing in the meta and how much like spot removal and everything we have packed into this build, I think we're gonna be all right for the most part. So we'll see. Opponent goes first. Okay, Shipwreck Marsh. We have Torch the Tower open for 2 damage. Might just pass it back here. Tenacious Underdog is the literal perfect target for Torch the Tower, dude. Because it gets that exile too. Okay, right into Riveteers Requisitioner. Which is good news, guys. Right into Celestus next turn as well. I'm not even worried about the double Chandra. They might go plus here. No, they want to get rid of that Requisitioner. I guess that makes sense, because if they would have went plus, we would have discarded that and then just swung at the Liliana, bringing it down to 1, right? So, Elder Dragon War, yeah, it doesn't hit the Planeswalkers, so they're going to have that plus next turn. If we go Celestus for the turn and we see a land, then we have Chandra already for next turn. Or we just go Elder Dragon War Dragon. That doesn't seem great. Let's get that Celestus down. We have nothing else for the turn. It was just a turn of ramp. I think we're okay, but yeah, land off the top would be amazing. Right into the Shieldred, okay. So if we go Chandra -5, buddy, they're going plus. I think I'm gonna get rid of an Elder Dragon War. Is that too sketchy? Because what if we don't see that land? Also, we're gonna be losing the treasure. Okay, I'll get rid of one of the Hope's Beacons. Yeah, the double Elder Dragon War is a lot safer. Okay, Jaya. Yeah, if it was land, we'd go -5 on the Chandra and ping the Shieldred. It would be 1 card for 2 cards, which would be really good. Outside of that, this Elder Dragon War not hitting the Liliana is super dangerous, man. We could go Jaya, take some pressure off of our face and go -1. We've done that in the past and it has worked out. 2 cards, we find a land, play the land, right? You know what? Those people are dead. Yep, I think that's totally fine. I was thinking like Monk would be fine too, but all right, there's the land. So Jaya ends up taking some pressure off of our face. Instead of them going Shieldred to our face, it's Shieldred to Jaya. And now we were able to find the card we wanted to find. They go plus, we get rid of the Elder Dragon War. Just let me catch my breath. Kaito, maybe they don't do anything with that Liliana. Maybe they want both cards in hand. Going back up to 24. This is scary, guys. We have plenty of ways to deal with these Planeswalkers, but none in hand right now. They do end up going plus on that Liliana after they drew with the Kaito, and then Kaito phases out too, so. Ow. Okay, we're gonna have to ditch the Chandra, aren't we? We gotta get rid of the Liliana and the Shieldred. It's rough. Ah, they get to keep. Is there any other value we can generate off this Chandra? If we go +2, we only have 3 open, so we can't go Elder Dragon War. And it's probably gonna die because we don't have protection anyway, so we're just gonna go -5. Breaks my heart, but it is 1 card for 2 cards, which is pretty good. Yeah, that's not bad, but they get to keep that Kaito for a while. Yeah, some burn down the house would be really good. All 4 of them in the deck for a very good reason, huh? Go ahead and generate a ninja for the turn. Celestus, yes, let's do the thing, Celestus. Ooh, Grabby Giant. No, we probably keep Elder Dragon War, right? Yeah, over the Grabby Giant. We're forced to discard 1 regardless. Oh, land. I'm going to keep that land in hand, and hopefully they don't play... Hopefully they don't play a Liliana and have us discard it, right? But yeah, having an extra card to discard to something like Celestus when that activates, or next turn, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards, so... Oh no, Urtai! Ooh, that's right, counterspells still exist. Well, that's a problem, guys. That's a big problem. Oh no, more land! We can activate the Celestus ability if we want to ditch the treasure. Switch it today, filter out that. I guess. I don't think we need that treasure right now. This is activate only as a sorcery too, so take that action, filter out. We get a little, ooh, Urabrask's Forge. That would have been pretty good early on, huh? Oh yeah, it would have been excellent, huh? Now the question is, how often are we actually gonna land a card? Extra card advantage from Kaito. Even a Brotherhood's End would pick up this entire board state, so yeah, we're just gonna keep taking that Celestus action. Okay, we don't need the land. Ooh, Koth. Okay, we have enough mana for both of these, dude. That's solid. What do we start with? Damage to target creature. Unfortunately, Koth's -3 can't hit planeswalkers, so this Kaito continues to be a threat. Let's get that Forge down, potentially. It could also just be sticking because of the Mirex over here. Forge is on the board. We're going to go plus because they can't take it out yet with their creatures, and they might even go creatures to our face. And then also, yeah, we don't want to go -3. Yeah, so we'll do that. And I'm gonna keep the mountain in hand. Same concept. We need an extra card to filter out when it comes time. That's right. We get a 1/1 this turn too. We'll go ahead and swing at that Kaito. Make sure they can't generate more 1/1s. It's not like a great target for like a cut down or anything because it's gonna sacrifice itself anyways, unless they really wanted to keep the Kaito at 3. Very Mastermind. They now have the 6 damage required to take out the Koth guys. Oh, also, they could have at the very least had 5 damage to hit the Koth. Look at this Celestus, dude. Every time I play with Celestus, I can't praise this card enough. Just the amount of filtering and everything that it does. So yeah, losing the Koth there is pretty rough, but we'll be able to take out Kaito this turn. Well, no we won't. They'll probably plus draw. And so Urabrask's Forge still doesn't hit it. Oh, too much card advantage with this right now. Same thing, dude. Burn down the house off the top would be so good. Thank you kindly, Celestus. Thank you kindly, buddy. Let's go. Let's keep the filtering going. Oh, more land. Also, Nice. They played the second Mastermind before we got the second draw with the Celestus, so they get to restock their hand, which is brutal stuff, man. Now we could try to find the board wipe off the Celestus. That's only once, right? Draws their second card each turn. Okay, yeah, we already did that, so... yeah, we might as well. And they have a blocker for the Requisitioner, but honestly, we might want to get that Requisitioner down as a blocker too, so... play with fire, okay. Yeah, we got to deal with that Kaito, dude. This has trample. I'm gonna save Requisitioner as a blocker. We're gonna swing here, see if they end up blocking, and then we're gonna have the play with fire to take out the Kaito. I hope that's an alright play. And well, it depends what they end up doing. Do we want the Kaito gone, or do we want the Requisitioner down? So let's see if it's a counter. I think we'd rather the Kaito gone, so if they end up using a counter on Requisitioner. Alright, let's attempt to take out that Kaito then. No more card advantage, right? That one Kaito was brutal, dude. We really want to see one of our burn down the house. Both drawn, huh? Giving us a mountain in hand. We're going to save it, not play it. Okay, anyone's game, dude, but they restocked their hand beautifully. We really need to clean up this board state. So 6 cards in our deck that can do that, and probably a lot of different cards in their deck that can counter it too. With the Fairy Masterminds on the board, Celestus got a lot worse, dude, because yeah, now they'll be able to keep up pace very, very efficiently. Yeah, Fairy Mastermind in the right build, dude. This card is just brutal stuff. And of course, like, you know, pairs beautifully with cards like Sheoldred and stuff. It's a good thing we got rid of that early. Forge generating every turn is pretty big for us, man, because now, as they play... are we in danger, bro? Each opponent sacrifices a creature. So we're going to lose the Requisitioner, so no blocker. Putting 2 counters onto the Fairy Mastermind, so that's a problem. They're going up to 28 for the turn. This is big damage for the opponent, and they still have 3 mana open, too. Did we flood out a little bit? Maybe. Well, not necessarily. We have 25 in here. There's 5 that we sent to the grave. 6 on the board, 1 in hand. Okay, I guess that's a decent amount of land, but I don't know if that's flood territory or not. No, my mountain! Liliana comes down, and we need to see that board wipe. Koth is not it. They're tapped out. They're tapped out, guys. Koth could go -3, take out the Mastermind, and survive the turn. No, Koth won't survive the turn, but, like, we might. 33 cards remaining. 6 cards in here that wipe this board state. Everything except for the Liliana will die if it's Brotherhood's End. It's Celestus, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. No, we'll only have 4 remaining. Crap, guys, crap. Yeah, if we find Burn Down the House off the top, we'll only have 4. So our only hope would be Brotherhood's End, which is only a 2 of in the build. So... we're in trouble, dude. We're in trouble. They still have 6 damage on the board, and they might just wrap this up. Celestus... did we have mana for this? Celestus is still 3. No, yeah, we would have only had 4 because of the treasure. We could have gained a life off of Celestus for the turn. We could have done that first. So far, the Urabrask Forge has just been 1 turn behind these Planeswalkers. Do I want to gain a life, or do I just want to risk death next turn? I think we risk it, because it would have to be like another Gix's Command for the 8 damage. Or something else fancy that I'm not thinking about. Like Sheoldred to pass the turn, right? Or Sheoldred activate Fairy Mastermind, and then full swing. Yeah. I should have gained the life off of the Celestus, I suppose. Yeah. Womp womp. We got really low really fast. I think that could have been anyone's game, guys. I think so. What do you think? Yeah, I think, bro, bro. I can't believe the game does this to us, man. This was our top card. In other words, if we would have risked it. So a few things, right? A few things. We should have activated Celestus first. So this is kind of my fault. We could have stayed in that match a little bit longer. If I would have activated Celestus first, regardless of what we saw off the top, we still could have kept Koth in hand, because if we saw something we didn't want to play, we could have just discarded that. But if we did see something we wanted to play, like the Brotherhood's End, for example, then we could discard Koth and then play the Brotherhood's End, and that would have really helped us out. Now, would that have helped us lean closer to victory? Maybe, maybe not. I think Urabrask's Forge being down on the board for those few turns would have really been helping as well. So I think we were probably in danger, especially since, yeah, it was only a matter of time till they played their second Shieldred, and then there's a limited amount of cards in our deck that can deal with that as well. So yeah, I don't know. At some point, our Forge tokens were going to get over the Shieldred's butt too, but we were still in danger regardless. But yeah, I think we could have survived a little longer if I would have just activated the Celestus there. While the Koth was in hand, of course. Well, 3 burn down the house, guys. You know what? I'm keeping this. In the last game, if we had one of these, if we could have landed one. Of course, if we could have landed one, right? Like that one turn where the opponent tapped out completely, that would have been the key turn. That's really funny. I can't believe that Brotherhood's End was on top. Yeah, treasure off the Scoundrel's definitely what we go for here. Oh, Requisitioner. Alright, I'll skip the Scoundrel for a turn and go Requisitioner. Maybe we can get some extra early damage through. Because it's like, yeah, if they go cut down or something, at least we get the treasure regardless. Abrade isn't bad. Scoundrel. We're going to go for that ramp. Nice. 4 getting through. No cut down. Abrade is technically open, but I don't want to use that treasure. Okay, Restless Fortress, Restless Cottage, Wedding Announcement. That's literally... That generates the perfect blockers for our current board state. Jaya. Okay. We have Jaya's -2 if we want to get these creatures through. But maybe just like generating more would be better. Probably just generating more monks and stuff. See what they do. Because if they block Requisitioner, we get more ramp. And they might not want that. Okay, they're not scared of the ramp. Down to 15. We do have Burn Down the House available now, but we don't necessarily want to use that to generate devils. I think we establish the Jaya and get the ball rolling with some monks every turn.
And I'm here. The experience will do you
Land off the top wouldn't be bad, because playing Burn Down the House for devils happens to be pretty decent. They're taking a quick look at Jaya. Hopefully that doesn't mean they have removal for it right away. Opponent. They might have removal for it right away, but maybe they're thinking, oh, Sunslayer. Remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. Yeah, we don't want that to get through, that's for sure. Braid hits it really well. The 1/1's fine. Prowess, we'd want to do it beforehand. I don't want to just go Elder Dragon War, hit everything for 2, because Glisa won't die then. If we go -2 on Jaya, we can take their whole board state away, but I think we might end up just going Monk again, because they got this trade here. Let's see what they end up doing first. Land off the top would be pretty good, even if it was land for the next couple turns. Okie dokies. Going for that monk. If Jaya can survive a couple more turns too, like the monks can get out of hand pretty fast depending on what you're doing. Okay, Sunslayer number 2. Now we do have 3 creatures on this board, so we can go -2 on Jaya. Full swing, hit that Sunslayer. Oh, it's a 4/4 because Wedding Festivity. Well, we got to be careful with this. Burn down the house. Oh, burn down the house. Yeah, that's a way through. That's a way through, isn't it? So we go 3 devils. Prowess. Nice, nice. They have a block on the Charming Scoundrel pretty well. And then we'll go -2 on the Jaya. Target creature and opponent controls. So we end up targeting Lisa. And then we swing for 6. Or with 6 creatures. Maybe. Maybe. They still have 2 land open over there. Again, yeah, more land off the top would not be bad at all. I'm not too concerned about the block into the Scoundrel because anything that's not... Yeah, anything that gets through to face is completely fine. I wonder what they have over there. Like, I do wonder what's in hand that they're waiting to drop. Is it, Seat of the Empire? Seat of the Empire would be for 2 since Glisa is a legendary. Something's holding up. Okay, Glisa's gone. Yeah, any trades? I'm assuming one of the 2/2s takes out the Scoundrel, so they don't end up trading with one of them. Other than that, I'm feeling pretty good about this one, man. It depends, though. If they play some kind of card that can help them gain some life next turn, they go for the monk trades and take 4 to face. That makes sense to me, I would say. And they still have 2 mana open. Okay, opponent's down to 8. We still have this Jaya on the board, which is huge. Elder Dragon War is ready to go next turn if we don't see a land. If we do see a land, it's going to be burn down the house again, dude, for sure. Drop some devils. And then maybe even have that -2 on Jaya clean up a big creature again or something. The 6th mana drops from the opponent. Whenever Fortress attacks, defending player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. They could power up the Fortress, go up to 10. That would be dangerous depending on what they think we're about to play. Shieldred, nice, that's a 5/6. And depending on what these 2 mana are. Oh no, it's not land. And since this is a 5/6, Shieldred's gonna be a problem to get around, isn't it? So if we go -2 on Jaya and full swing, they can just block Scoundrel pretty successfully. And then not worry about the extra 4 damage. But they don't know we have Elder Dragon War, but that does wipe our board too, so. So maybe... Maybe it's Urabrask's Forge for the turn. Shieldred's going to help them gain life. I apologize, opponent. I am thinking, buddy. We'd want to get the -2 and then have at least 3 of our creatures swing in. No, all 4 of them. Oh, no, 3 if they block. Okay, let's risk it. Jaya, can we take out this Shieldred together? Let's find out. Because it's going to come down to what's in their hand too, so... Oh, we could also... Okay, well, it's too late now because I clicked the button, but we... Okay, go for the throat. So if they just take the 3 to face, then Shieldred's completely safe for the turn. Yep, okay, well, that's a problem, guys. That's a problem. If we go... So if I would have went... Yeah, I don't even know. Forge would have done an extra damage there. Okay, we're gonna go Dragon. How you guys feel about that? They only have one card in hand, guys. They're gonna be gaining up to 7 for the turn. If we go Dragon and they don't have removal for it, that's big damage in the air. If they swing with Sheoldred, they should swing at the Jaya, but then they're losing a blocker, an important blocker at that. Some tough decisions. I definitely could have played these out a little bit better somewhere. I know there's like a little optimization somewhere that when I go back, I'll watch the matches and see where I could do better. Especially that last game where we could have just activated that Celestus though first. Like that one was an obvious improvement that we could have done. Power up the cottage for the turn, really? Oh my, they want that Jaya gone, dude. But we have 8 damage on the board and they only have a Restless Fortress open. Maybe this is a fun way of conceding? They could play a land and have the food token available to go up to 10. I mean, we're gonna be playing this all the way out, so just in case. Okay, yeah, I guess that was the opponent's fun way of conceding. Nice, opponent. Yeah, that's how I like to do it. Just like play it out, get a swing in, get a chunky swing in at that too. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, so far I think the deck feels all right. Maybe we could draw a little better. Like that game, we didn't see enough mana for sure. For a while there, right? Or maybe it just felt like a while because the turns were taking a while. I feel like we were stuck on 4, maybe for 3 turns. That isn't that long though. And we did ramp successfully for a little bit there too. So yeah, not too much to complain about, I suppose. Kumano, okay, the ultimate test, dude. And they went first too, so. All right, Charming Scoundrel, we're gonna have to ramp as soon as possible into like the Elder Dragon War and stuff, so. Mano's gonna flip next turn. Charming Scoundrel no longer gets picked up by the Elder Dragon War, because I can only imagine that's a wicked roll turn. Yep. Okay, Scoundrel ramp chump blocker, right? Maybe it takes some pressure off of our face but with burn too, which could be good. Yeah, we're gonna have to ramp into the burn down the house as soon as possible now. Blazing Crescendo on the one that we didn't block. That's scary business, dude. Phoenix Chick off the top. More land isn't bad. It's too bad Elder Dragon War just doesn't hit too much here. If we go for the 4/4 this turn, we won't have the burn down the house next turn. The 4/4 might not be picked up by burn. Grabby Giant can block Phoenix Chick when it comes time. Tough decisions, guys. Very tough decisions. I think we're gonna go... Crap. Crap. Okay. Okay. See, we're at 11, so like... like, this is tough. Skip the treasure. See if we see a play with... We have 5 cards in here that we could play at 1 mana. Okay. Koth isn't the greatest. Alright. I think that was worth a shot, right? Because if we found like a play with fire, we could take care of that etching. And at the very least, that's a lot less damage coming through. Yeah, we don't want to activate Grabby Giant just to replace the treasure token that we would get rid of, so... we could, I guess, but... Taken 3. They still have 1 mountain available, so it could still be Monstrous Rage. Monstrous Rage. Okay, guys, we are in trouble, dude. 6 down to 5. The board has to be wiped. We're going to take 1 from the Wicked. Jaya. Man. It's not bad, but... Yeah, being at 5, going down to 4, means they could just double down on burn next turn, unfortunately. Definitely a tough uphill battle, this one. Let's see if we end up dying here. Okay, Phoenix Chick. Phoenix Chick? Ow. Okay, we probably die next turn, though, right? Because Elder Dragon War gets us around this. Still not worth playing Grabby Giant yet. Yeah, it's just like, it's just wiped this board again. And you got it, opponent. I think they got it. Lightning Strike. Okay, GG. Wow. Whew, yeah. They did all that with 2 mana. They didn't even need that 3rd mountain. That's tough business, dude. So what could we have done a little bit better? I think, well, one, if we found some more early game removal, right? Even our Abrade would have been decent, where the Abrade could have picked up that 3/3. Them not having the Monstrous Rage that turn wouldn't have changed too much. At 3 less damage, I mean, yeah, but when a lot of those particular style of builds, especially when they're running like Blazing Crescendo too, then they usually have like the 4 Monstrous Rage, so... And then once they get us down low enough, we just know that the burn's going to come out at some point. So we would have had to go first, I would say. I think that would have been like the key deciding factor of survival there. This is a good hand. Opponent goes first. That's fine. That's fine. If it's more mono red, then at the very least, I feel like this hand has a much better chance against mono red, even if they do go first. We'll go ahead and pause the recording until the opponent shows up, guys. Okay, the opponent has arrived. Soldiers, oh boy. Oh boy, at least we have that Play with Fire open, which we're just gonna keep open for their turn 2 here. Thalia, oh no, guys. Oh no, I was thinking like, do we keep the Play with Fire back for Thalia on our turn? But no, I think we'll be fine for now. We'll be fine. I'm gonna go for the guaranteed ramp on Scoundrel over the Requisitioner for this turn. Also might not be a bad chump block. Cards like Brotherhood's End and stuff are so gross against soldiers, guys, it's not even funny, so... I think we're just going to go right into that Brotherhood's End. Pick up 3 creatures while we can. Totally fine, dude. Let's do this. 3 damage. Thalia's gone, so maybe Jaya next turn. Like, we could get greedy with it and try to wait a while, but we have so many board wipes in here. Would that even be worth it? Probably not, right? Mural Shield of Argive, or however, Argive, maybe, I don't know. Crucible, can't do anything on their turn, right? Can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Doesn't say anything about land abilities, so I guess Crucible does work. Kind of forget right now. Gonna go Jaya, get a chump blocker down. That's fine. As we generate more value with Thalia, take more pressure off of our face. More turns we survive, the better against soldiers. Oh, they do go wide pretty effectively, though, don't they? Okay, we're going to need to find another board wipe, and Jaya could help us find that, so... -1C top 2. Generating a creature now wouldn't be the best, so yeah, now we just try to find something to play. And a board wipe, of course, would be the best case scenario. Chandra Hope's Beacon, we don't have the mana for it. We can only play that card this turn. Alright, it's going to be the Forge then. Keep that Crucible. Get the Forge down. And we have an option with Play with Fire, one of the 1/1s. Remember, we can't do it on their turn. It's just, it's Requisitioner, isn't it? And Jaya's probably going to get taken out here. Swing with the Forge token. I guess we could have done that first before The first turn that the Forge is on the board, I kind of always forget that we get to swing with it that turn too as a 1/1. But yeah, so like we maybe could have cheesed the 2 through if we had open mana here, and maybe they would have, and see, we would have been able to take that out with the Play with Fire too, so I just got so hasty with my plays. Dahlia's still an issue, dude. Oh my goodness, they have established a board state, and we are in danger, dude. 3 in the air, they can go forward it. Yep, that makes sense. So, unfortunately, wherever we block, we can take out a 2/2. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to take less damage to potentially, by some miracle, have an extra turn to find a board wipe when it comes time. If we don't find, like, a burn down the house off the top now, though, I don't know. I think that might be it, man. Oh, we had a great hit with that Brotherhood's End earlier, but this reestablished so fast. Treasure token and burn down the house off the top. Oh, Brotherhood's End off the top. That does a thing, dude. Gets rid of the Thalia first before then the Play with Fire will be 1. Crucible won't be able to block. 3 to everything. They can activate Sky Strike Officer, what? Twice? 3 times? They're gonna restock their hand completely here, guys. Oh no. See, that Play with Fire last turn, taking care of that officer last turn would have been a key to winning this game, and I didn't even think twice about swinging with that Forge last turn. But they might have also, like, they might not have blocked, too, is the thing. That's very possible. If we had open red source, they probably would have just taken 1 to the face. Either way, though, I still wanted to do that before playing anything else out. Restocking their hand, and the opponent's not even sweating, dude. 4 cards in hand, they're probably sitting pretty right now. Sky Strike Officer. Charming Scoundrel. Got that card in the air. We could trade out Crucible, but Crucible might end up being a really good chump blocker at some point. I don't know if I want to go Treasure with this, though, either. Or Wicked Roll, for that matter. Maybe I do end up trading out Crucible. Or just, like, keeping Crucible open for the turn, maybe? 2, 3, 4. Maybe I will just go Treasure. Actually, I'm going to save the Scoundrel, as silly as that may seem. If we see a mountain off the top, I think that trading out that mountain... Wow, reinforcements. Okay, and that does mean Officer can tap for another card, restock in their hand, dude. Brutal stuff. If they don't find a way to buff this board, I guess they could always just pay the 5 and put a counter on everything. Dusk Legion Duelist, and they still have the 5, so they're going to get a card draw on the Duelist, too. Woo, buddy, Soldier's still looking super rough, man. We do have enough board wipes packed in here to where, yeah, I guess if we do see one, then we'll be okay for now. Generate a 1/1. You know what? We might as well take care of one of these. No guarantee that we'll see the board wipe off of the trade out with the Scoundrel too. We could take less damage or just take one out, and I'm just going to take one out just in case we don't see a board wipe. Requisitioner. Okay. I think that's an okay trade out. Let's see if we find a board wipe. Abrade is not half bad at all, dude. Now, we don't hit the Officer because it has the counter, but taking care of the Dusk Legion Duelist. Should we wait for their turn? They untap with blue sources. Now, we know that soldiers don't usually run counters or, for that matter, protection. But just in case, we do run into it, and I've definitely run into the Azura soldier decks that run a few counter spells, so... keep one blocker back to be able to chump on the ground after they buff something with the other veteran. The Forge doing good damage, dude. Oh, Cathar takes our chump blocker away. They get a good swing and they can still restock this board. Or yeah, they power up the board, I mean. Down to 6. No, a land. Another board wipe would have been pretty lucky though, probably, right? Let's see what they do with this 5-1. They probably just take the damage. And that is a GG's. Good game, opponent. We'll drop him the Chandra. Oh man. I wonder. The deck feels pretty good so far, doesn't it? But yeah, we're not. I don't want to say we're not drawing well. I definitely don't want to say that. Some optimization on certain numbers of certain cards might need to happen based on the meta we're seeing, right? If we see more of that, I'll tell you what, dude, a third Brotherhood's End could go a really long way, huh? Oh, Ashiok, very nice. Guys, we're about 45 minutes in, unfortunately, and I should wrap it up there so we can have a moment to actually talk about the deck. As much as I want to keep going, too, I do have more videos to record today as well, so here's the deck list again, guys. I actually really liked it. It felt like it wasn't drawing well, but I actually think it was drawing well, and it was just like, I don't know, it was weird. We have like a lot of 2-ofs and everything, which I actually really liked. I liked that, I guess, I don't even want to call it consistency. I'm struggling with words today, guys. Send help. I liked like the variety. Yes, I like the extra variety that we got by playing with a lot of 2-ofs in that mid-game section, but I do think we need to rearrange some stuff. There were just like way too many turns where we were like, oh yeah, another board wipe would be great. Oh yeah, another board wipe, that would be nice. And then we're like seeing some of the board wipes and we're like, yeah, but like, you know, another one. So another Brotherhood's End could go a long way depending on what you're seeing. If you're seeing a lot of mono red and soldiers like we just saw, that was brutal stuff, man. And I technically think we probably should be favored against some of those aggro decks just based on how much we can obliterate their board state and get so many different like 3-for-1s, right? Or more. Ramping into Burn Down the House was super duper easy. Our Planeswalkers generated value when they needed to. I think I could see dropping down 1 Chandra Hope's Beacon. I think 2 of these is unnecessary. I still like the 1-of though. I think that 1-of is still going to do a lot. But that's what I would end up doing. Outside of that, I think more testing's required. I think you could probably just keep it exactly as is and it would kind of sort of be fine. Really depends. We did have some tough decisions today, but overall the deck did a good job in just like running itself. It wasn't too difficult overall, especially compared to other mid-range builds and stuff. As far as mid-range goes, this is a relatively easy one, I would say, to pilot. So yeah, I would drop that Chandra based on what we saw today, drop it down to 1, and go up that third Brotherhood's End. I think that would be terrific. The fact that we can trade out those Brotherhood's Ends when we don't need them with like the Scoundrel and the Celestus and stuff is absolutely huge. And the Elder Dragon War for that matter too, so. All 4 Burn Down the House, I wouldn't drop these at all. If we could play 8 of them, we probably would, and then and then Big Red would be a thing in Standard, right? All 8 Burn Down the House. Like, I joke about it, but like at the same time, you know what I mean? Like that, once you get to that mana, Burn Down the House a couple turns in a row can be absolutely incredible, right? 3 turns in a row, don't even get me started, man. Wipe the opponent's board, wipe their backup board, and then drop some devils and start swinging. Yeah, no, I like this one. I always enjoy Big Red, regardless of what we do, and trying our dandiest not to go into the artifacts recently. It kind of has been working out. I think the other recent Big Red was a Big Red Dragons, right? I think so. So it has been a while since we checked out the artifact side of Big Red, so if you guys are interested in that, maybe let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll check that out again soon, because yeah, when you go into the artifact side of things, you do have some better ways of card draw and everything, so whenever we get down to the top deck wars, which seem to happen a lot with this, yeah, that extra card draw could go a long way. But like seeing cards off the top with Jaya was pretty huge, wasn't it? I would have liked to see Koth a little bit more today. That would have been good too. I don't know. Yeah, I like the extra variety with a lot of these 2-ofs. Okay, one more recap because I'm sitting here rambling. So drop a Chandra, go up a Brotherhood's End. I think that would totally be fine. If you don't want to do that, I still think the deck will work fine enough. We did struggle against some of the meta builds today, though, and some of those very well might have been just my fault, too, and how I played those out. So I don't necessarily want to blame the deck. That's why I say more testing required, right? Oh, I did want to talk about Grabby Giant. I really like this card, but we didn't get to see it do anything today, did we? We actually were on the run so often that we were just never able to actually do the "that's mine" ability. Because, yeah, we were just struggling. But whenever you are up against like certain control matches and stuff, then "that's mine" is going to be a lot easier to pull off because you're not just sweating every turn doing your dandiest to get chump blockers down or removal. Instead, they're trying to establish something big too, and this just helps you keep up pace. So I still like the 2 of those as well. So okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? If you guys made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.